while we are approaching the end of 2022, I felt like it's the perfect time to hit the brakes and do a quick recap of the biggest Android and iOS releases of this year, ranked in a tier list. Nonetheless, we've got one hell of a good list to go through in detail, so let's head straight to the action. So let's kick off today's list with Project Winter Mobile. This is an 8-person multiplayer game that mainly focuses on social deception and survival. The game is similar to Among Us, where you have 6 survivors that need to finish their tasks in hope to escape the area. On the other hand, the other 2 traitors' objective is to blend with the survivors, ruin their plans, and kill them all without being caught. Personally, I had plenty of fun when this game was out. It's a really good game and it goes for the A tier spot for me. Next up on the list we have Fury Unleashed. This is a fast-paced roguelike platformer where you need to shoot your way through pages of a comic book to defeat challenging bosses. The art style is on point and you can either play in solo or in 2 players co-op mode, which will definitely make the game more fun. I will put the game in the B tier list mainly because of the inconsistency of pricing for the game. Moving on, we have CounterSide, an anime-style fantasy collective action RPG featuring quite catchy and smooth live 2D graphics. The game sets the story where administration failure led the corrupted objects to threaten the existence of humanity. The game totally deserves a solid A tier spot as it makes you feel like you're watching a live anime show with high quality background music and overall good storyline. Coming up next, we have Ni no Kuni Crosswords. Probably one of the worst releases of this year. Ni no Kuni Crosswords is an MMORPG based on one of the most popular franchises in the world of RPGs. Now, don't get me wrong, Ni no Kuni is visually impressive, but that's all. The game is heavily carried by autoplay as you barely do anything yourself. Ni no Kuni totally goes for the F tier spots for me on this one. Another banger ports coming from PC and console to mobile. Streets of Rage 4 is a classic side-scrolling beat-em-up game that comes with modern and advanced graphics. The story sets in a place where a new crime seems to have taken control of the street. Your mission is to bring order back by any means necessary. I was very happy when this port happened, so this one is an easy A+ tier spot. Next up we have Catalyst Black. This is a MOBA X shooter game with top-down view. 2 teams of 10 players will fight each other in a non-stop action, exciting online battles. Each player controls a hero with special abilities which can also be equipped with different weapons, armors, and so on. The graphics are colorful and very pleasing for the eye. I will rate this one in the C tier list just because it felt like it's a game I wouldn't personally commit to. Moving on to one of the major and the controversial releases of 2022, Diablo Immortal. The MMO experience in Diablo Immortal is set in a shared open world that allows players to interact with each other and even cooperate. The storyline is overall not bad, controls are great, the game with no doubts includes top-notch production values, and it's undeniably fun. That being said though, the monetization and the microtransactions on this game is something. That's what led the community sort of hate on this game. I would rate Diablo Immortal in the C tier spot. I truly believe that's the overall spot that it deserves. Moving on to the next station, we have Gunfire Reborn. Previously released on PC with quite a success, Gunfire Reborn is an adventure level-based first-person perspective game with fantastic roguelike elements. You can join a 4-man squad co-op mode with other players, which will definitely make the game more fun for everyone. My only complaint would be not having crossplay feature on with the PC version. Nonetheless, Gunfire Reborn sits on the A tier spot. Next up we have Apex Legends Mobile. Easy S+ tier spot. Next. But seriously, EA seemed like it really nailed the optimization of Apex, one of the most popular shooter game on PC and console, and adapted to Android and iOS devices. In my personal opinion, I feel like this is the best release for mobile devices in 2022.
Enemy down.
The 10th game of today's list goes to Torchlight Infinite. One of the biggest competitors of Diablo Immortal, Torchlight Infinite is a loot-based action RPG developed by XD Entertainment. From gameplay standpoint, the game feels great. I was fortunate enough to test the game in the beta stages, and my overall experience was actually not too bad. Torchlight Infinite claims it's going to be cosmetics related only for the heroes, though that's not entirely true. Some of the pay-to-win mechanics are actually in place. B tier spot is for Torchlight Infinite.
Double kill.
Coming up next, we've got TapTap's exclusive game, T3 Arena, an all-new 3 vs 3 hero-based shooter game with console-quality graphics. Join a thrilling, fast-paced online PvP action battles with your friends. The first team to reach the goal of a total of 20 kills will achieve victory. The game feels smooth, controls are great, and even offers controller support. Definitely one of my favorite releases of this year, and it surely goes to S+ tier spot next to Apex.
Come out! Blue Eyes, White Dragon!
Up next, we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Cross Duel. Cross Duel is a fast-paced version of the original card game with a twist and different gameplay mechanics. In this game, 4 players will go against each other in real time. The game is dedicated to only 8 turn phases. At the final phase, the players will be ranked from 1 to 4 depending on how much health points they've been left with. Quite an interesting crossover with unique concept, so for this one, I'll give it a B tier spot. Disney's new game, Disney Mirrorverse, is an action RPG gacha game. Players will need to assemble teams of amplified Disney and Pixar characters to battle against the Dark Force. The gameplay is smooth and polished, graphics are pretty solid, but of course we're talking about Disney here, and it's expected to be heavily monetized. I'm not a huge fan of Disney in general, so this one goes to the D tier list for me. Next up we have Hitman Sniper: The Shadows, an action RPG set in an original Hitman story. The game focuses on events following the disappearance of Agent 47. As a member of the Shadows, you must eliminate targets with stealth and creativity. This one isn't necessarily a bad game, it just feels as a game that could be made back in 2013 or something. So for this one, I would rank it in the E tier spot. Coming up next, we have Cat Museum, visually stunning puzzle adventure game with unique art style in an immersive 2D side-scrolling gameplay set in a bizarre, surreal world of a museum. The objective of the game is simple but not easy. Solve the puzzles with the company of a cat, then unreveal the truth behind this mysterious museum. I'm always on board with this kind of games, so this one definitely goes for the A tier spot. another release from EA Sports for this year, we have UFC Mobile 2, an official UFC game that promises to bring an authentic mixed martial arts. Now, promising and delivering are two different things. The graphics in this version are top notch, but the overall gameplay just feels weird and nowhere near decent. The game feels like it's a tap on the screen and drag your fighter kind of game. Honestly, it felt like a boxing more than an actual MMA, which was a bit disappointing if you ask me. So this one goes for the C tier spot. Next up we have Crossout Mobile, a legendary post-apocalyptic action-packed game with real-time team-based battles. You will join PvP battles in a 6 vs 6 players or take part in a PvE mode. You can customize or build your own unique vehicles and adjust them as you wish. This is yet another amazing AAA title from PC and console. It features incredible graphics and it's very well optimized. Nonetheless, I'm very happy to put this one in the A+ tier spot. Moving forward, we have DEEMO 2. Well, we have seen the second part of one of the most heartwarming musical adventure game dropping this year. DEEMO 2 is a single-player RPG X rhythm game with fascinating atmosphere. The details on the art style, the story, the high-quality anime cutscenes just feels surreal. This title deserves no less than an A tier spot. Next up we have Hijo. This is an exciting western stealth adventure game in which you guide a young boy on his quest to find his mother. This is yet another great port from PC and console, but I do hate the fact that the game costs $10 for Android and iOS, but you can get the same game for $8.50 through Epic Games for PC. So just for that, C tier spot it is for this game. Coming up next, we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, one of the biggest releases of Konami this year. Master Duel is a competitive online PvP Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist game that features everything from the anime. The game also has crossplay and cross-progression on between all platforms including Android and iOS. I'm a huge fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I would never say no to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, so this one is an easy A+ tier spot on my book.
Ah yes, George and Samantha, what a lovely couple.
Next up we have Where's Samantha? A question you, George and I have been asking for a little while. In this game, you need to help George find his lost love as you overcome puzzles, obstacles, use different strats to solve tricky riddles. The game is beautifully hand-drawn, 10 out of 10 of artwork. It also comes with 45 different levels of physics-based puzzles. I truly admired this game when it came out, so I'll give it no less than an A tier spot. The classic racing game Horizon Chase 2 is our next mention. Play in a high-speed gameplay mechanics on one of the best arcade racing games with advanced and completely evolved experience. Join online multiplayer races with other players from around the world and immerse yourself with endless fun. Horizon Chase 2 goes to the A tier spot. I would have rated it higher, but the game is only available through the Apple Arcade service. Heading our way to sports games, we have Tennis Arena, free and modern tennis game featuring online PvP competitions with full support of both portrait and landscape screen orientation. The ball motion, the shots, the physics are quite impressive on this one. This one is a classic, so I'll put it in the B tier list. Next up we have Combat Master, a fast-paced online tactical first-person shooter game, pretty much a copy-paste of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. When this game first came out, it was all over the place. Everyone wanted to try it out. After a little while, the game started to fade away due to lack of updates. I will give it a C tier spot on its current status.
Someone came on board with me.
Scared of aliens? Coming up next, we have Alien Isolation, one of the most iconic and stunning AAA survival horror game on PC, finally had a port for Android and iOS. Discover the true meaning of fear in Alien Isolation, a science fiction horror game set in an atmosphere of constant danger all around. An easy S tier spot. Next up on the list we have Monobot, a well-designed 2D physics-based puzzle platformer where you take control of the main character, Mono. Players must guide the robot through his solo journey to uncover the myriad secrets of this dystopian world. If you enjoy playing games such as Limbo, this one is also a perfect fit for this genre. Monobot gets a B tier spot. Another FPS game for our next title we have Hyperfront. NetEase game Valorant on budget, Hyperfront is a 5 vs 5 hero-based tactical shooter game with intense competitive elements. I don't mind when games get inspirations from others, that's completely okay, but straight up copy-paste another game just feels a bit lazy, especially from a big company production such as NetEase. I would give this one a B tier list, still feels like a great shooter game to be fair. Up next we have Journey of Greed, very underrated and super addictive casual card game that will put a thin line between friendships and betrayal. 4 players will go against each other and dive into a thrilling adventure where you can use different strategies and tricks like stealing, setting traps, assassinate to gain as much coins as you possibly can. It's a great game overall, but I will keep it in the B tier radar due to lack of player base. Coming up next, we have Bakso Simulator. Create and open your own Bakso restaurant. Upgrade it and become the most well-known restaurant in the city. The gameplay is quite alright, the graphics are pretty decent. The simplicity of the game gets a lot of gamers to be addicted to such titles, so I feel pretty confident to put this one in the A tier group. Next up on the list we have Banana Kong 2. Celebrating the return of Banana Kong, the Endless Runner game is back with another version that features modern graphics and visually stunning environment design. I've had plenty of fun exploring all the beautiful locations in the game. Gameplay wise is pretty decent, but it still feels like another Endless Runner game. So C tier spot goes for this one. A hidden gem I discovered late 2021 called Everywhere is a beautifully designed, eye-catching, spot-the-difference game that features top-notch 3D scenes. The slow-paced gameplay got me really hooked, and it also features clean and simple low-polygon art style. The music is on point with each level you play. The game is extremely underrated as it has no more than 100 downloads in total, which feels like a legit crime upon this masterpiece. Go check it out, but for now, this game deserves no less than a B tier spot. Up next we have Maximus 2. This is an action platformer fantasy beat 'em up game that focuses on crunchy and satisfying combat, as you can either fight in solo mode or with up to 4 players co-op multiplayer. I truly dig the overall concept of the game. Gameplay wise is pretty entertaining, art style is pretty catchy, so this one gets a B tier in my book. best fishing simulator on PC finally dropped on mobile. Fishing Planet is a free-to-play, highly realistic first-person MMO where players will compete against each other in events, competitions with personal scores, achievements, leaderboards to maintain their progress in the top players list. This is yet another incredible port coming from PC. Optimization is a bit off with the initial release, so I'll give it a B tier spot for now. Unexpected release for this year, Phobies is a highly addictive tactical turn-based strategy game where players battle one another as they control a number of monsters known as Phobies and participate in thrilling online PvP battles. I have never been so hyped for a turn-based game before, but this one really blew my expectations. The soundtracks, the art style, everything in this game just feels really well thought out. This one for me surely gets an S tier spot. Next up we have Noah's Heart, another MMORPG that overall failed to deliver a different gaming experience for the MMO fans. Graphics wise is great, the massive open world to explore is surely something to cheer them up for. The movement on mobile devices is however horrible. And of course there's autoplay, it just feels like it's another MMORPG. So yeah, E tier group is where Noah's Heart belongs. Are you up for some old school dungeon crawler games? Well, Dungeon of Dreadrock is a classic puzzler where you need to dive into a journey of 100 handcrafted challenging levels in the Dreadrock mountain. I feel like I'm judging this title a little bit too harshly, but I will put it in the C tier group just because I feel it's a game I wouldn't really put too much time on it. More shooter games, you might ask? Well, NERF Superblast is a fast-paced first-person shooter 3 vs 3 multiplayer arena game that features cartoony graphics and addictive gameplay. The game also comes with 4 different modes: NERF Battles, Token Rush, Siege, and finally the 1 vs 9 solo mode. Overall, it's a great FPS game, but I will keep it in the C tier radar. Here's to another anime MMORPG. The Legend of Neverland finally had its global release, and from my personal perspective of the game, visually wise, the game looks stunning. So much so that it looks similar to Genshin Impact graphics. But of course, that's about it. The autoplay and the auto quest is still there as a classic MMO. Definitely an upgrade from Noah's Heart, but not that much. So D tier group sounds like about the right spot for this one. Coming up next, we have Railbound, a relaxing puzzle game about fixing train connections. Connect railways to help everyone reach their home destination, while at the same time discovering eye-catching landscapes. With over 150 levels to complete, beautiful art style, this one deserves nothing less but a first-class A tier spot. Up next we've got War Armies, a true real-time strategy-based game set in the World War II era. Guide your army in an intense non-stop action 1 vs 1 strategic battles while taking critical decisions that might or might not help you defeat your rivals. Graphics-wise are quite impressive, and it's a game with a lot of potential. I will rank this one in the D tier group just because it's a game I usually don't play. ChimeraLand is our next title. This is an open world survival game with RPG elements. You go out to hunt creatures, you tempt them, you can build and craft different items to help yourself survive. Basically, it's a game with a concept similar to Ark Survival. The game has the potential to be a decent MMO survival game, but nowhere near the success of Ark. The movement feels like it's a game coming from PlayStation 2. The graphics feels a little bit outdated, character creation is something I actually liked, but other than that, but it doesn't really feel like there's much going on. So for now, I have to put this one in the F tier group next to Kuni. Next up on the list we have Koi Remake. Koi Remake is a healing and mesmerizing adventure game where you need to guide a little fish called Koi in a mission to solve puzzles, collect a fragment of memories so you can uncover the hidden past of the fish Koi. Anything from the background music, the vibes, the visuals, gameplay wise, I was immediately impressed and hooked with this game. Koi Remake gets an easy A+ tier spot. Moving forward, we have Crossout Mobile, another online PvP strategy game that brings a new twist to tower defense battles. You start by building an army, use a variety of tactics to strike your enemies down. Visually wise, the game looks stunning and the gameplay is quite smooth. Then again, it's a game I wouldn't usually go for, so this one will also sit in the D tier group.
This table is getting old. Look, the paint is chipped here and there.
We finally reached Tower of Fantasy. Unlike Genshin Impact, Tower of Fantasy is not a single-player RPG, but rather a MMORPG open-world anime-inspired science fiction adventure game. Now I'm sure a lot of people will call Tower of Fantasy a straight-up lazy ripoff of Genshin Impact, but this is where I hardly disagree on the part of just being a lazy ripoff. Tower of Fantasy brought some features to its game that you won't find in Genshin Impact, such as a battle royale mode, extensive character customization, and better gacha mechanics. The game of course still has its flaws that still need to be worked on, but in my opinion, Tower of Fantasy still is one of the greatest releases for this year, and I will give it an S tier spot. Yet to another amazing port from PC, DYSMANTLE is a sandbox zombie survival game in the post-apocalyptic world. You will play as the last living survivor in a mysterious island, and your mission is to escape this dangerous island before it collapses. Explore a vast open world with beautiful landscapes, fight, level up, gather resources, craft, hunt, build, and do whatever it takes to survive. DYSMANTLE is a high-quality single-player RPG, and it deserves no less than an A tier spot.
Hey, I'm up here!
The game that shook the entire gaming community in 2022, Poppy Playtime is a first-person perspective horror puzzle adventure game where you try to survive and escape Satan's toys who are waiting for you in an abandoned toy factory. You'll be able to use Grab Pack to solve challenging puzzles around you in hope to escape the factory in one piece. This one is such an iconic game and it deserves a spot in the S tier group. Let's get our hands on the steering wheel and talk about Monoposto. Monoposto is an amazing indie Formula 1 racing game with outstanding graphics. The game can be played both offline against challenging AI or real-time online PvP races. The game also features 5 different camera views for better gaming experience, all in a pack of barely 300 megabytes. Monoposto gets an A tier spot. Following the series of Dadish, Dadish 3 is an action-packed adventure pixel art platformer game where your mission is to guide Dadish to find his kids in a journey filled with fun and mini-games. The game features 50 unique levels with 5 different bosses to defeat. This one is a classic and it gets the B tier seat. This one is a highly realistic truck driving simulator game. Truckers of Europe 3 features intensive driving experience with the most realistic truck physics. Your objective will be to travel across many cities from Europe, make money, purchase new trucks and trailers, select your job and deliver your cargo in an open world. I ain't gonna lie, I was never interested in such game, so I will give this one a D tier rank based on my personal preference. One of the biggest hits on car racing games, CarX Street is a massive open-world Night City online multiplayer game where you get behind the wheel as you drift and race your rivals to be the best racer there is. The dynamic of CarX Street is something remarkable. Graphics truly goes beyond what's real and what's not anymore in the mobile gaming market. Now before you ask where can you find this game, at the moment as we speak it's only available on iOS in selected region, but the devs have confirmed they will be releasing the Android version this month in October. I highly doubt this game is going global before the end of 2022, but if it does, CarX Street Racing is an easy S+ tier game. Finally, we have Road Redemption Mobile. This is an action racing game that lets you lead a biker gang where you take off on a journey across the country. This drive-in combat game is set in the post-apocalyptic world. As much as I'm excited to see this port happens, the game lacks a lot of things to be a great port. The graphics really looks bad compared to the PC version and nowhere near as good, even on ultra settings. So at its current stage, it gets no more than a D tier rating. Well gamers, there you have it, a full in-depth video summarizing the biggest mobile games releases of 2022. Let me know whether you agree with my personal rankings or not. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section. Drop a like, subscribe if you feel generous. This was your boy Playzone and I'm signing out.
It's hard, I've been scarred from out fighting. Waking up, stomach is starved, I keep grinding. 6 AM, life isn't hard, I keep reciting. It feels like I might fall apart, I keep trying. Sun's coming up and the glare is so blinding. I'm sick of hearing and seeing all of the people whining. You want something good, then you better go put the time in.